Across the woodlands and meadows of our planet, a silent story is unfolding. It is a story of a creature of immense grace and quiet beauty, the wild deer. For millennia, these animals have moved through the landscape, a vital part of the intricate web of life that sustains our world. They are browsers and grazers, shaping the very structure of the forests they inhabit. Their presence is a sign of a healthy, thriving ecosystem. Yet their world is changing, and the cause of this change is, undeniably, us. As we have expanded our own dominion, we have often forgotten that this planet is not ours alone. We share it with countless other species, and with that shared existence comes a profound responsibility to ensure their survival alongside our own. The connection between humanity and the natural world is ancient and deep. We have long looked to creatures like the deer with a sense of wonder and respect. They have featured in our art, our stories, and our cultures for thousands of years. They represent a wildness that we instinctively understand is precious. But in our modern age, that connection has become strained. The demands of our growing populations and our relentless pursuit of progress have placed an immense pressure on the natural habitats that these magnificent animals depend on. We must now pause and consider the consequences of our actions. The decline of any species, no matter how common it may seem, is a warning bell that the health of our shared home is in jeopardy. It is a simple truth that the fate of the wild deer is now inextricably linked to our own choices. The forests that provide them with shelter and food are the very same forests that help regulate our climate and provide us with clean air and water. The health of their populations is a direct reflection of the health of the environment we all depend upon. When we see their numbers dwindle, it is not merely a loss for the natural world. It is a sign that we are degrading the systems that support all life, including our own. Acknowledging our role in their struggle is the first, most crucial step. It is a recognition that our actions have consequences that ripple out far beyond our immediate surroundings, touching lives that are quiet and wild. Therefore, we stand at a critical juncture. We can continue on a path of thoughtless expansion, pushing wildlife further into the margins, or we can choose a different way. We can choose to become stewards of the natural world, to act with foresight and compassion. The challenge is not to halt human progress, but to redefine it, to find ways to coexist that honor the delicate balance of nature. The story of the wild deer is a chapter in our own story. How we choose to write the ending will say a great deal about our wisdom, our foresight, and our humanity. It is a responsibility we must not shy away from, for their sake and for ours. The most direct and devastating impact we have on wild deer is the relentless loss of their home. Imagine a vast, unbroken forest, a continuous tapestry of trees and undergrowth, where deer can roam freely, find mates, and forage for food. Now, picture that tapestry being cut into smaller and smaller pieces. This is habitat fragmentation. We build roads that slice through ancient migration routes, creating deadly barriers. We develop housing estates that creep into what was once dense woodland, leaving isolated pockets of green where viable populations can no longer sustain themselves. For a deer, a highway is as impassable as a great river, isolating them from essential resources and breeding opportunities and leading to a slow, inexorable decline. This fragmentation is driven by the expansion of our own world. Urbanization, the growth of our cities and towns, consumes land at an astonishing rate. What was once a tranquil meadow where fawns could be safely hidden becomes a suburban lawn. What was a dense thicket offering protection from predators becomes a shopping center. This relentless conversion of natural landscapes into human-dominated ones leaves deer with nowhere to go. They are pushed into smaller, less suitable areas, often bringing them into conflict with humans. They are forced to cross busy roads in search of food or shelter, leading to tragic collisions. The very progress that defines our civilization is shrinking their realm to the breaking point. Furthermore, the manner in which we hunt can place unsustainable pressure on deer populations. Throughout history, hunting has been a part of our relationship with the natural world. When practiced sustainably, it can be a tool for managing populations and maintaining a healthy ecosystem. However, when it is poorly regulated or driven by commercial demand rather than ecological balance, it becomes a severe threat. Unsustainable hunting practices can remove too many individuals, particularly breeding females, crippling a population's ability to recover. This disrupts the age structure and social balance within herds, weakening them from the inside out and making them more vulnerable to disease and predation over the long term. These three forces, habitat loss, urban expansion, and unsustainable hunting, do not act in isolation. They combine to create a perfect storm of pressure on wild deer. A population already weakened by a shrinking habitat and fragmented landscape is far less resilient to the pressures of hunting. An animal pushed to the fringes of a city in search of food is more likely to encounter a vehicle or other human-caused dangers. It is a compounding effect, where each individual human action adds another layer of difficulty to the daily struggle for survival that these animals face. We are, piece by piece, dismantling the world that has supported them for eons. And we must understand the profound consequences. Beyond the immediate pressures of habitat loss, a more insidious and far-reaching set of threats is degrading the quality of the places deer have left. Deforestation, often driven by the demand for timber and agricultural land, is a primary culprit. When we clear-cut vast swaths of forest, we are not just removing trees. We are erasing a complex ecosystem. We destroy the undergrowth that provides deer with essential food sources, particularly during harsh winters. We eliminate the dense cover they need to hide their young from predators and to shelter from extreme weather. A replanted forest of a single tree species is no substitute for the rich biodiversity of a natural mature woodland. The very fabric of their habitat is being unraveled, thread by thread. Pollution, a byproduct of our industrial and agricultural activities, also casts a long shadow over the health of deer habitats. Chemical runoff from farms and industrial sites can contaminate the water sources that deer and all other wildlife depend upon. Pesticides and herbicides sprayed on crops can drift into adjacent woodlands, poisoning the plants that form the foundation of the deer's diet. Even the litter we carelessly discard can be a danger. This contamination does not always kill directly. Instead, it can weaken the animal's immune systems, reduce their reproductive success, and make them more susceptible to diseases, contributing to a slow, silent decline that is often hard to see until it is too late. Looming over all of this is the profound challenge of climate change. Our changing climate is altering landscapes in ways that are deeply disruptive for wildlife. More frequent and intense droughts can wither the vegetation that deer rely on, leading to starvation. Unusually warm winters can allow pests and diseases, such as ticks, to thrive and expand their range, placing unprecedented stress on deer populations. Extreme weather events, from flooding to wildfires, can destroy huge areas of habitat in an instant. The predictable seasonal cycles that have governed the lives of deer for millennia are becoming unstable, forcing them to adapt to a new and uncertain reality for which they are ill-prepared. These wider environmental threats work in concert, amplifying each other's effects. A forest already stressed by drought is more susceptible to a devastating wildfire. A deer population weakened by poor nutrition due to a contaminated food source is less able to withstand the harshness of an unseasonable blizzard. We are fundamentally changing the rules of survival. It is no longer just about finding food and avoiding predators. It is about surviving in an environment that is becoming increasingly hostile and unpredictable. The health of the deer's world is a mirror to the health of our planet, and it is reflecting a system that is under immense and growing strain. Faced with these immense challenges, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. Yet despair is a luxury we cannot afford. The path to protecting wild deer and their habitats begins with a fundamental shift in how we view and use the land. We must embrace responsible land management practices that recognize the needs of wildlife. This means planning our towns and cities with green corridors that allow animals to move safely between fragmented habitats. It means protecting ancient woodlands and wetlands from development and working to restore degraded ecosystems. Farmers and landowners can play a vital role by leaving field margins wild and maintaining hedgerows, creating small but crucial refuges for wildlife in agricultural landscapes. Every decision about land use can be a choice for coexistence. Supporting sustainable practices in all aspects of our lives is equally critical. The choices we make as consumers have a powerful ripple effect. By supporting businesses that are committed to sustainable forestry, we can reduce the pressure of deforestation. By choosing products that minimize pollution and waste, we contribute to cleaner water and healthier ecosystems. This extends to supporting well-regulated science-based hunting programs that focus on the long-term health of the deer population rather than short-term gains. Sustainability is not just an environmental concept. It is a commitment to ensuring that our actions today do not compromise the ability of future generations and other species to thrive tomorrow. Beyond our individual actions, we must raise our voices together in support of conservation. This means advocating for strong environmental laws and policies that protect critical habitats. It means supporting conservation organizations that are on the front lines, working to purchase and protect land, conduct vital research and restore damaged ecosystems. We must encourage our political leaders to take climate change seriously and to invest in solutions that will create a more stable and resilient planet for all its inhabitants. Collective action amplifies our individual efforts, turning a whisper of concern into a powerful call for change that cannot be ignored. Our shared voice is our greatest tool for protecting the natural world. The responsibility for the future of wild deer rests squarely on our shoulders. It is a duty born not of guilt, but of capability. We are the only species with the power to understand the global impact of our actions and the foresight to change course. The task ahead requires a collective effort, a shared commitment to tread more lightly on this earth. We must work together, as individuals, communities, and nations, to heal the damage we have caused, and to build a future where humans and wildlife can flourish side by side. The silent grace of the deer in the forest is a reminder of what is at stake. Let us act now, with urgency and with hope, to ensure that they will wander these lands for generations to come.